Servus Männer, it's Red Pill Germany again. Today I want to touch on a topic that is often discussed on the right, and that is that voting doesn't change anything. Yeah? A lot of people say that. I don't know how bright they glow in the dark, but this kind of discourse, this discouraging discourse is very, very widespread on our side. And today I want to tell you that I don't think that is necessarily true. At least, I mean, it's a very general statement, right? In some instances, it might really not change anything, but they don't mean it like that. They don't mean in one particular election with a constellation XY, it doesn't do anything. They mean voting in general doesn't do anything. You can't vote yourself out of this, or if votes or if elections would have any meaningful effect, they would be banned and all this kind of talk, right? Well, let me give you my perspective on that today, especially in light of recent events in Germany. Not only in Germany, but also in Germany. So, for example, oh, well, maybe I should say that at the beginning. Generally, I think that the elites or the ruling class, whatever you want to call them, that they don't control things as tightly and as completely as some people are led to believe. Sure, when you look at certain things that happened in the last years, like scamdemic and several conflicts that were breaking out. It looked a little bit too rehearsed, choreographed, and is that a word? Well, orchestrated, planned, what have you. But in the end, I think even the most powerful leaders are sometimes taken by surprise by events that they cannot foresee. And they also don't have full control over elections, especially here in Germany. And for my dear American listeners, I say this over and over again. No, we don't use election or these voting machines here. Everything is counted by hand. Yes, we have mail-in voting, but it's counted by hand, okay? But that's a whole different topic now. What I wanted to say right now is, give you some examples about Germany. So we had the European elections earlier this year, and then in autumn we had in 3 federal states. In central Germany, Brandenburg, Sachsen and Thüringen, we had elections of the state parliament. And wow, that did change something already. The mechanisms I explained in previous videos, it's very easy to understand. The established parties are afraid to lose votes to the AfD. They're being kicked out of parliament. They're losing MP positions. They're losing their power to put their allies and friends in positions like in federal bureaus, federal offices, institutes, etc. These nice public servant jobs, right? Where they're taken care of. And this is the source of, or one of the big sources of power for a lot of these people. And they lose the ability to do so. And that scares them on a very personal level, because in the end, they are people, and they see that their ability to make money, their income, their bottom line is in danger. And that is a very, very direct influence that these effects have on them. And that is one thing. And more concrete now, the FDP, our pseudo-liberal party, they are in government. They are part of the 3-party traffic light Ampel coalition in Berlin. And they're dropping out of the regional or state parliaments right now. And that means that they might crash the ruling coalition out of fear. And that is a direct consequence of people voting AfD. A direct consequence. And the second thing, I reported about that in my last video. The radical youth of the Green Party, they are leaving the party. Yeah, they're stepping down from office, and they are leaving the party. They want to form a new movement, etc. And this fracturing of the left, of the extreme woke left, is a good thing. Whenever the right was fractured, they're unable to do something. They're unable to act. At the moment, the right is united politically under the banner of the AfD. That is a good thing. And we have so many forces on the left now. We have Die Linke, we have the this Alliance Sarah Wagenknecht, BSW, and we have the Green Party, we have the Social Democrats, we have whatever new movement comes out of these renegade radicals from the Green Party now. So many examples. Yeah, even the FDP I would count as a leftist party now. Fractured, yeah. And that is a direct consequence. The pressure that was applied in order to set that in motion, that was the success of the AfD. Yeah? Because they say now that they have ideological reasons for that, as I explained in my last video, but why are they doing it right after these 3 state elections? I mean, yeah, maybe they had some stomach ache when it comes to real politics that the Green Party leadership was enacting on the federal level, but yeah, they didn't go to these drastic, or they didn't leave the party. I mean, they know for years already that the leadership of the Green Party is not as radical as they are, and they won't get what they want 100%. But that didn't, that didn't make them leave the party. Why now? Well, because they are, of course, greedy politicians, and they just see that I'm not able, probably, to become rich here. Yeah, effortless. Labor-less income. That is what they're after. And the chances of getting that there are getting lower and lower. Okay. And then, one more example from France, for example. The ruling party, or Macron's party, they shouldn't call it ruling party, but the party of the president, they performed really well in the really badly in the European elections, European Parliament. So he called for new elections, yeah. And what was the outcome? The strongest parties are now some immigrant, far left communist parties, yeah, like a federation, very, very, very far left and very, exotic party. And his party is marginalized now. So they're still the president. I mean, Macron is still the president. But he wants now some, as I understand, some sort of minority government on the center-right or something, even though the majority in parliament is far left. Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that. And this, once again, it's a direct outcome of the success of the Rassemblement National under Marine Le Pen, of course. And it's similar, the outcome of the Austrian election now, that we had last weekend, last Sunday, could be similar. It's almost as if Austria was a state in central Germany. I mean, of course they're different, but I just meant the situation in Parliament right now, the quest for finding a workable coalition. The analysis is in the making. I will publish that also soon, so I don't want to say too much. But yeah, the Austrian Freedom Party performed very well. They basically won the election. And will there be a coalition of losers now? Just like we see in many cases in Germany, just to keep the right from directly being in power? We will see. But the important thing, I guess, is to remember that you don't need to be in government in order to exercise political power. That is, of course, the best way, probably. unless you fear unless you want to avoid accountability in the end, like plausible deniability. Oh, it wasn't us who did that. But no, seriously now. A good example is the Green Party under Merkel. Yeah? The Green Party was never in government under Merkel. Yeah? There were grand coalitions, big umbrella coalitions together with the SPD, and there were the liberals involved also, like center-right liberal FDP coalition. But at no point in time did Merkel have a coalition with the Green Party, even though she is friends with Green Party people more so than with people from her own party. So I always looked at Merkel like a Green Party like agent in the CDU. But what I'm trying to say is the Green Party at that time, now their star is falling, but they had a lot of people power, soft power, metapolitical power, you might call it. And at that time, under Merkel, who abolished the draft in Germany? Yeah? It was always a wish of the left to abolish that, yeah, because they're pro-Soviet Union. Yeah? Well, back then, or well, in the 80s, 70s, it's a long story, right? But they always wanted to abolish that. Who did it? The center-right party, CDU, that was always so pro-military, pro-draft. Who turned off our nuclear power plants? It was Angela Merkel and the center-right CDU cock party. It wasn't the Green Party that switched off the nuclear power plants. I mean, in the end, Habeck, the last 4, yeah, maybe, but the decision to get out of nuclear was made under Merkel. So, and yeah, you can say, like I do, that Merkel is basically a Green Party politician, but you can look at it differently also. You can say that the CDU was afraid, and rightfully so, I would say, to lose seats in parliament, to lose power, to not do what the people want, to make the people angry and afraid if they don't give in to these green demands, because the Green Party had people power. Yeah, they can bring 100,000 people on the streets of any Western German big city, yeah, at the snip of a finger, yeah, and that made them afraid. And if the right can do now that too, I mean, for all these years there was a phantom, a Green Party phantom, sitting as a super minister, basically, on the bench of the German, or at the bench, at the table of the German government, and that is something that the right can do right now. Yeah, we might not be part of the government. There is no AfD minister or chancellor or president or what have you, but we can develop people power, soft power, metapolitical power, and that makes us then dictate to these center-right or social democrat or green, whatever coalitions, what we actually want to get done. And something will change, even though it's not 100% what we want, but it will change. For example, all these parties, all these establishment parties, they have adopted many of the demands of the AfD. They have just adopted them, like border controls, like deportations, and so on, reducing the welfare for migrants, and so on. These things are in the making. I don't know. I mean, I'm not getting my hopes up. I'm just saying they're talking about it more often now in these speeches they give. And when they talk about it, it's really, when they themselves talk about it, that we need that now, then it's really hard for them to oppose it when or to demonize the AfD for saying exactly that. So the things that they can demonize the AfD for become fewer and fewer. Like now they can just say, oh, you're a bad human being, but they cannot demonize them for wanting deportations, because the Social Democrats themselves want deportations now, right? And this is, I think, because of the soft power, the metapolitical power that the AfD can develop when they have so many votes and people see we're not alone, a lot of us think like that, and if you don't do what we want, the AfD will have an absolute majority next time, and then you're really gone. Then you might still sit in parliament, but you will be so far away from any actual power, the AfD will rule then, okay? And that is my opinion on why voting actually matters. Yeah. And of course, it doesn't depend on you. The thing that's discouraging to a lot of people on the right is probably that a single strong-willed person cannot do this on his own, but you need millions of other people at the same time. But this is the challenge, you know. It's not that we need a hero like Hercules or something right now. We need organizers. We need people who organize our camp and to yeah, not make military attacks or militant attacks on the enemy, but metapolitical ones, political ones, yeah, to organize protests, to organize demonstrations, to do all these things, right? And then I think the way that things are right now in Europe, the people are so fed up and something is tipping. We're at some kind of tipping point right now. If the right plays their cards correctly right now, I think we could see a fall of the government in Berlin. We could see snap elections. We could see a lot of what the AfD wants being enacted by the establishment, basically, that just wants to save their skin. And we could see a big change next year when there are federal elections upcoming anyway in Germany. All right. Let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. I gave some examples. I told you what I think about that. I said this all along, but years ago it was really harder to make the case because you didn't see these things yet. They were in the making, but you couldn't show these success stories yet, and that is why a lot of people, it was so easy for them to always say, oh, you cannot vote yourself out of this, you need to do something drastic, man, wink wink. Yeah. Yeah, I think they glow in the dark. you cannot convince me otherwise, because we know that all these people who say these drastic things, we know that the secret police in Germany, they have thousands of people working online, in social media, on message boards to say these things, and they're allowed to even break the law in order to get people to do something or to say something that you can put them in jail for. So I'm just saying that there are thousands of operatives working for our government that is controlled, of course, by foreign powers, in order to egg people on, in order to radicalize people and make them step out of line so that they can then kick their doors in. And this is why I think all this talk about voting doesn't change anything. Do something, man. If you're a real man, you would do this and that. Wink, wink. No. This is not the way to gain power. This is not how it's done. As I said, soft power, people power, organizing our camp, voicing our demands clearly and showing them on election day who's the boss, basically. This is the way forward, I think, and it's realistic now in Germany that we can do something. And don't think that the elites are omnipotent, that they can do anything they like and they control everything perfectly. They're also just people, and they have their faults. And if a majority of the people is fed up, there is nothing in the world that they can do. And I think all the weapons at their disposal, the mass media, brainwashing, and the universities and schools and these fake pseudoscientific institutes that are just government offices, basically. People are, especially after the scamdemic, more and more people stop believing them. And I think unless they come up with some really new thing, I think their power can be broken, and we shall overcome. All right, so let me know what you think about that. Servus, Kameraden.